Yolanda Caraway, Leah Doherty, and Mignon Moore. So, I'm going to start with you, Don, because most people know for colored girls who have considered suicide. I certainly do. I was in the movie. But, yes. But please explain to everyone why you call yourselves the colored girls.
Well, Whoopi, you did a phenomenal job in that movie. You know, like in Tazaki Shange book, we are women who have blazed a trail. Our lives have been interconnected by politics. And we wrote this book to encourage other women, not just black women, but every woman to take their seats at the table. It is time that we step up, that we speak out, and we have open doors, but Whoopi, you know the doors will close on us, Sonny, if we don't continue to get women in the pipeline to run for office and to lead the way forward.
That's the thing. Well, and all of you have had incredible careers in politics. I don't know that everyone knows it, but I just want to run through this very quickly. Donna, you were the interim chair of the DNC and the first black woman to serve as a campaign manager, and that was to Al Gore in 2000. So congrats.
Thank you.
Yolanda, you're a nationally recognized public relations and public affairs strategist who's held various positions at the DNC for 2 decades. Leah, you were the CEO of the 2008 and 2016 DNC conventions and the only person to ever hold that position twice.
Yes.
So congratulations. And Mignon, you were the CEO of the DNC and a longtime Clinton aide, both for Hillary's campaign and as an assistant to President Bill Clinton.
Yes.
So, now that we know y'all know what you're talking about, Leah, you're all very familiar with the old boys club in politics.
Yes.
And it's been on full display, in my view, the fight over the Kavanaugh confirmation. It's looking like he may very well be confirmed to the Supreme Court. What is the message to the country if he is indeed confirmed?
Well, I think it tells us 240 some odd years after the founding of this country that women's voices and women's experiences still don't matter. And we have yet to be taken seriously and credibly when talking about what has happened in our own experience. But it also tells us that elections have consequences. And when you have one party who holds both the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch, what can you expect? We watched that hearing, 21 members of the judiciary, and only 3 women. So what could we really expect when our voices are not at the table? So it reinforces for us how seriously we have to take this electoral process. November is coming, it's almost 32 days away. We've got to vote. We've got to vote our conscience. We've got to vote our values and bring people to office who are going to represent and take our voices seriously.
Absolutely.
I have to, and I love the book. That was so insightful, and people might not know this, but the Colored Girls host dinners for all of the presidential hopefuls in the Democratic Party.
That's right.
So you had dinner with President Obama when he was a senator, and he was campaigning in 2008. And in the book, you say he told you this: race won't be an issue. America is past that. Does that comment explain where we are now?
Mignon?
I mean, were you surprised that he thought as a black candidate, race was not going to be an issue?
We were shocked.
For him. Were you shocked?
We were totally shocked.
Huh.
We were shocked, but I think in many ways we understood because Obama brought a different set of frameworks too, because he comes from a biracial background, but at the time the country was more in a more normal state. But I don't believe he anticipated, one, even after his election, that there would be so much hatred and disregard for him and his wife as president. So I believe if he was asked that statement today, he probably would revisit it a different way, because I think he came hopeful. That was his message.
But he got the hopeful thing, and I think that's what he brought, was that he was going to be everybody's president.
That's right.
Because, as soon as a woman runs, they say, well, going to take care of women's issues. But as the president, he was overwhelmingly elected. So he had the right idea.
That's right.
Where do you think it went wrong?
I think the reaction from the partisans was that First of all, Mitch McConnell said he would be a one-term president.
Yeah, he did.
Don't forget that.
Yep.
They held up many of his judicial nominations.
They yelled, "You lie."
They yelled,
Right.
"You lied."
Right.
They
All those
questioned.
cartoons.
They
Yep.
questioned his birth certificate.
did.
For 8 years.
For 8 years. And so, look, we were not post-racial. I don't believe we're post-civil rights because we're still fighting for the civil rights of all Americans. And so I think when the then senator sat down with us, he wasn't seeing ahead, he was looking behind. And that might have been a mistake.
So Yolanda, there are midterms of 32 days away. We're seeing all the diverse candidates. And do you think this is really about being diverse in terms of color? Do you think it's a diversity of thought process? What is it? Because, you know, the media says it's one thing. What do y'all think is happening?
It's a diversity of pretty much everything. I mean, you look at these.
You're watching ABC On Demand.
Your me time's here, cause The View is live. Calling out Kavanaugh. A former college roommate claims the Supreme Court nominee repeatedly lied under oath. So why is the FBI ignoring him? And Twitter was buzzing about the first presidential alert test yesterday. But which co-host didn't get the alert? And only on The View. She was married to the Grammy-winning star accused in several disturbing sex scandals. R. Kelly's ex-wife Andrea talks about the abuse she says she experienced during their 13-year marriage. Hot topics are on the table with Whoopi, Albie Huntsman, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
So, yesterday, more than 100 million phones buzzed at the same time for the first test of the presidential alert system. And it did not take long for the internet to go to town. Honey, it was some funny stuff. Yes, Ab?
Of all people that didn't get one.
I didn't get one. They don't want me to get it. They want me to go down with the ship.
Well, as if we needed
Better down with them than on the what?
reason to see how divisive of a figure the president has become. Social media went crazy. So Jimmy Kimmel tweeted, "Did anyone else get this? Presidential alert, witch hunt, crooked Hillary, no collusion, confirm Kavanaugh, hashtag MAGA." Jim Jeffries tweeted this one, presidential alert, yup. And this one,
You up.
You up.
You up.
You up.
You up. It's like a booty call. You up?
Thank you. Okay. This one was the best. The feminist next door tweets, "Thanks, but I've been on presidential emergency alert since January 20th.
I love that one. I mean, I have two phones, one personal, one for work, and I got 2 alerts on each phone. Like, what's that
Wait,
about?
you got one alert on each phone, so you got 2
No,
alerts.
I got 2 alerts.
You got 4
On my
alerts.
personal phone my personal phone got 2, and my work phone got 1. What are they trying to tell me?
Maybe they sent you hers.
That's
Oh,
it. That's it.
that may have
you
happened.
got mine. So that means if there's an emergency, you better call me.
I'll call you. I'll warn you." This started under Bush, by the way. It started under George W. Bush. I also
As so
saw,
many things have.
yeah, I saw people that like Trump that were tweeting, "Can we get this every day?"
Now, do we ever get any of these alerts from Bush, though?
I never got one.
I never got one from
No.
Obama. I would have liked one from Obama. Yeah.
I don't want them from anybody.
Depends on who you like, I guess.
Listen, you know what? I get that there are emergency alerts and you can opt in or opt out. I don't like being told I cannot opt out if I want to. That's my problem.
On your personal phone.
Well, on my personal phone, it wouldn't matter who it was. I don't want anybody telling me. Since they're telling me everything else they want, I'm telling you, I don't want you on my phone unless I call you. It's like an Amber Alert. Not all people get Amber Alerts at the same time.
You wouldn't want
should
it
be
from Obama. You wouldn't want it from
I don't want anyone telling me they have the right to just send it to me. Whether I like it or not, I don't want that. I want to be asked. You don't ask me a lot of stuff. Ask me if I want it on my phone. And people, listen, women of a certain age
say hello, Whoopi.
She wouldn't hit her.
Can I please put the alert on your phone?
Well, you know what? Yeah, you know?
That would be good.
If you're gonna screw up the environment, you're gonna separate kids from their families. At least ask me if I want to get your alert.
That's right.
And this might have something to do with my very, very bad attitude. The White House is fully confident that Brett Kavanaugh will be confirmed after receiving the FBI report. But several people say the FBI ignored their claims that he lied during his testimony, like his ex-college roommate, James Roach. Take a look.
There were a fair number of people who drank a lot back then. But I would say even in that environment, his drinking was notable.
Did you see him fall down drunk?
Yeah, so that's the thing that came back to me as I was watching or listening to and reading and then ultimately watching the testimony, is that I just couldn't believe what I was hearing, because I would be in the room and he would come down and he was slurring and he was yelling and making loud noises and very drunk.
So the people are asking, well, why won't the FBI take this account into consideration? Because if it's true, that also kind of means he lied under oath.
And that's really important. I mean, you're talking about a person that would be on the Supreme Court that is willing to lie under oath. Think about that. Someone that is ruling on cases of perjury, someone that is assessing witness credibility. I have to tell
you know what, Sonny, Mitch McConnell changes all the rules to suit himself.
Yes.
And to suit his party. So this is another changing of the rules. He likes beer, let's vote. That's where he's at.
But I just think this should be but this should be different.
Yeah.
Because they went ahead with the FBI investigation, yet it doesn't appear to have been a thorough investigation, because someone like this wasn't interviewed, and it was all about, her word wasn't enough, which I've always taken issue with, because I have put on cases with one person's word against another person's word, and the jury assesses credibility. So if her word wasn't enough and they want to corroborate her story, shouldn't they also want to test his story as well? I mean,
you know what bothers me more than anything? I know this is going to sound crazy, but do you realize that not one male senator said he was worried about his daughters? Yeah. Everyone's worried about their sons. And you would think if you're worried about your son, you want an FBI probe to show that we will investigate and get to the bottom of stuff.
I don't believe that. I think that's lying.
It doesn't mean
but do you hear? My point is that if you are worried about your son, you want there to be investigative stuff happening so that you can show whether your son is innocent or guilty. You want that. You do want that. You want due process to last in this country. And I'm kind of shocked that everybody says, yes, it's a hard time for men, but not for your daughters? Because that means if your daughters get assaulted, you're going to say, well, you're my kid, but I don't know if I'm going to take your word.
I don't think we're never going to know what ultimately happened here. That's just where we are. I don't know that we will. The FBI has an impossible task. I mean, they've had a rough year. They've been under the microscope already for being political, and now they're put in this position where no matter what they do, no matter what results they come up with, they're going to be hated by half the country.
But they were given a whole week. They didn't even take the whole week.
But that's not the FBI's fault. If anything, it was Senator Coons, who's a Democrat, who suggested that we do this week-long investigation.
Actually, it was
right?
wasn't it?
You could have an investigation for 6 months, and you're going to have people that are still unhappy with results. It was both of them. Chris Coons was the one that suggested it, and that's when they both went back.
No, Blake's the one who said, let's do it for a week.
It doesn't matter. The message to women is, we're not listening. That's the message.
Your word is not enough. The message to boys is, if
if you become a powerful man, you are allowed to grope a woman. Look at the president. Hey, remember what he said? When you're famous, you can do it. They let you do it.
Yeah.
This is what the
reinforces
message
that.
is to boys.
But the
And that's a
FBI
very
said,
bad
and
message.
you know
But
that.
I don't believe these senators don't care about their daughters. They're just saying this for political purposes to push Kavanaugh.
I know, but
through.
but why would you put out this sort of vibe in the street so that your daughter